Ladies and gentlemen, presiding at this morning's ceremony is Commander, Coast Guard Sector San Francisco, Captain Gregory Stump. Captain Stump oversees all Coast Guard missions from Guala, California, south to Point Piedras Blancas, including San Francisco Bay and Delta. Ladies and gentlemen, Commander, Coast Guard Sector San Francisco, Captain Gregory Stump.
Good morning, everyone. How are we doing today? Is this an amazing day or what? I really enjoyed watching you two trooping the line because the senses were just overwhelming.
Absolutely. Station Golden Gate, at ease.
The sounds of the foghorn, one of the most iconic structures in America. The foghorn, the children playing in the background, the smell of the salt. The senses are just overwhelming. They're just really, really special. Thanks for being here today. Thanks to everybody. Thanks for this distinguished guest. Thanks to all the port partners. I'm going to talk about the port partners in a second. Thanks to all my brother-in-arms, the COs and officers in charge of the subordinate units that extend from Lake Tahoe up to Bodega Bay and down to Monterey and along the Delta. And family and friends, really, really special day. Talking about the port partnerships, I'm going to name them. Normally I wouldn't do that, but here's the thing in Northern California. The port partnerships are so important, and we could not do anything without our port partnerships. They have to be recognized. I've worked on the East Coast, West Coast, Gulf of Mexico, a lot of different ports. Port partnerships are no better than they are right here. So they include the Marin County Coroner's Office, San Francisco Police, and I love we have a fire truck, we have a paddy wagon or ambulance over there. We have all kinds of crazy stuff going on around here. San Francisco Fire, Southern Marin Fire, the Navy League. Thank you to the Navy League. Thank you to Auxiliary Flotilla 12. These are the volunteers that are just do tremendous work for the Coast Guard. San Mateo County Harbor District, National Park Service, U.S. Parks Police, Golden Gate Bridge Sergeants, Golden Gate Bridge Manager, Tiburon Fire, Sausalito Police, California Highway Patrol. They're sitting right over here. When I first came in, I thought they were National Park Service. Those guys have squared away or what? You got the blue tie, you got the green jacket, you got the badge. You guys are rocking it. And Noah. So as Chief Roloff mentioned, this is a transfer of authority, total authority and responsibility from Surfman number 321, I'm sorry, from Surfman number 259, who is Tom here, to Surfman number 321, Beth Slade. And it's kind of interesting because if you think about it, the Registry of Surfmen, and you can go online and Google this, there's actually a Registry of Surfmen. It was created in 1871. Today there are fewer than 500 surfmen. So these men and women over here are specialized to the nth degree. They get it done, and they get it done in expert fashion. Normally at a change of command, what somebody like me does is we stand up and we give a lot of love to the outgoing commanding officer and to the crew. And I'm going to get there. But I'm going to use a bridging strategy. And I promise I'm not going to talk long for two reasons. One, these guys are standing up, and thanks guys for bearing with me. I'm going to pontificate just a little bit, okay? And the second reason is Chief Laura, who is a Chief FS up in Petaluma. She makes these killer cakes. I had the first one at the station Bodega Bay, change of command. That was about a month or so ago. I've been thinking about that ever since. She's here today. I'm going to be on that like white on rice. So the bridging strategy. Two elements to the bridging strategy. One is a temporary modification to the Coast Guard's motto, Semper Paratus. The second is a snippet of history and heroes in the Coast Guard. Now, that could take hours, right? And I promise, it's going to be like 3 minutes, okay? Just bear with me. Okay, so, and this all connects. I promise you it's going to connect. So, the Coast Guard's motto, Semper Paratus, always ready. I think, though, it should be Flexibile et Semper Paratus. Flexible and always ready. And that leads to the next element, which is the history of the Coast Guard. I'm going to tie it in, I promise. The history of the Coast Guard. And the history and the heroes of the Coast Guard, it's not about the what or the how these heroes did what they did. It's not about that. It's the why. And you're not going to see or read about the why in history books. The why is internal. I can speculate, though, the why has to do with something greater than self. It's humility. It's patriotism. It's excellence. It's putting the collective before the individualist. So let's talk about the flexibility of this fine group of young men and women. They're a surf station. I already told you what it was to be a surf station. There are only 20. You guys hear me? Can I turn this off? Thank you. There are only 20 surf stations in the entire world. This is one of them. So it's very specialized. What you do is very specialized. You know that. It's a level 1 port security port waterways coastal security unit, which means after 9/11, after the terrorist attacks, we realized some of our, not all of them, but some of our boat stations had to have a higher level of anti-terrorism. So PWCS 1, that's the highest level. These guys are that. So they're surfmen, they're PWIX 1. Oh, by the way, they're the busiest search and rescue. They're the busiest search and rescue station in the Coast Guard. We also have Station San Francisco here. They're the number 4. So these guys are constantly saving people left and right. They ensure economic prosperity. Northern California has the 19th largest gross domestic product in the world. We're between Saudi Arabia and Switzerland. That just doesn't happen. That requires support from folks like this to ensure our maritime transportation system is ready to go. And they do that. And with great support from our port partners, they execute an unspeakable mission that involves this structure right over here. I'm not even going to talk about it, but God bless you for what you do over there. And just to let you know, I had a good friend of mine, the U.S. Attorney here, Melinda Haig, and her son's best friend's mother jumped about a week ago, and you guys recovered him. I'm sorry. And she was Jewish, in the Jewish faith. I did not know this, but having the body present for that ceremony is very, very important. So Melinda Haig extends a thank you to all of you. Thank you for what you do. I also thank you for your humility and for your quest for excellence. One of the things these guys did was they were put in for the rescue of the year this year. What had happened was there was a woman over here on the south side who fell into the water, and she was about ready to die. These guys did something totally outside of policy. They beached their boat to get her. And what was really fascinating was when I talked to Tom a couple weeks later on that, he said, you know what, we actually practiced that. We didn't know it was going to happen, but we are flexible and we are always ready. And that's exactly what they did. And you guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you for what you do. And of course we have the commanding officer here, CWO Tom Moore. He's a leader's leader. Not only is he a technical genius, but he gets leadership. And Chief Roloff had a little sentence here that he said about him. He says, I have never seen a crew respect and bond with a CO as much as they did or they have with Mr. Moore. They know that his standards for them are very high, and that he will let them know if they fail to meet them. The crew didn't, I love this, the crew didn't work hard for Mr. Moore because they were scared he would take their liberty away or yell at them. They worked hard for him because they truly wanted to impress and earn his respect. That is leadership in the 21st century right now. It's not about rank or title or position. It's about earning the respect and trust of everybody at the unit, whether the newest member from boot camp or the chief petty officer who is the XPO. And I applaud you, and I applaud my brothers in arms, the COs and OICs, and my department heads, and everybody in the sector. You guys get that, and you live it every day, so thank you. And I was going to talk about one other thing that this man did, and it had to do with the rescue, but I think I've talked enough, so I'm gonna hold off on it. He wouldn't want me to talk about it anyway, because that's the kind of guy he is. But I do want to welcome CWO Beth Slade. I was reading her bio last night. So there's this very, very high medal in the Coast Guard. It's called a Silver Life-Saving Medal. She earned it. I don't know if I know anybody who's earned that particular medal. You guys, anybody out here have a silver medal? Life-saving medal? Anybody? Yeah, nobody. I mean, it's like, how do you, I don't even know how you do that. So she spent about 30 seconds describing the rescue. It was like, okay, I need to write a book on this. It was insane. But welcome. Welcome to what I consider to be the most amazing place in the world, and that's Northern California. Yeah. You're going to rock it. I know it, just as Tom rocked it. And have an open door policy, so please talk to me whenever you want. That concludes my remarks. Before I sit down, though, I do want to formally recognize CWO Tom Moore's efforts and successes here. So.
Citation to accompany the award of the Meritorious Service Medal to Chief Warrant Officer Thomas J. Moore, United States Coast Guard. Chief Warrant Officer Moore is cited for meritorious service and performance of duty while serving as the commanding officer of Motor Lifeboat Station Golden Gate from June 2012 to June 2015. Demonstrating extraordinary leadership, seamanship, and judgment, he led the Coast Guard in search and rescue responses while maintaining surf and level 1 ports, waterways, and coastal security readiness. Under Chief Warrant Officer Moore's command, Station Golden Gate conducted 1,933 search and rescue cases, including a response recognized by the Commandant of the Coast Guard, saving 448 lives, assisting 2,000 people, and preserving $14.5 million in property. Chief Warrant Officer Moore directed 951 law enforcement boardings, 653 ports, waterways, and coastal security missions, including 243 security boardings, ensuring the security of numerous critical port facilities located throughout the San Francisco Bay. Charged with children the unique challenge of responding to over 100 suicide incidents from the Golden Gate Bridge annually, Chief Warrant Officer Moore tirelessly advocated for systemic change to address the detrimental impact to his crew's behavioral health. He worked closely with the Coast Guard Operational Medicine and Navy mental health specialists to implement a program providing proactive support through regular and acute behavioral health care, mental health screening, and a tracking of former crew members throughout their career, ensuring continued care for those in need. Chief Warrant Officer Moore's diligent efforts resulted in the Coast Guard's first successful integration of a behavioral health technician into a station crew. His dedication continues to draw attention to behavioral health care throughout the service, even gaining recognition from the Canadian Coast Guard, who sought out his advice in developing a similar program. Chief Warrant Officer Moore's dedication, judgment, and devotion to duty are most heartily commended and are in keeping with the highest traditions of the United States Coast Guard.